Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sit Down Podcast. I'm Mark.
And I'm Joel.
We haven't said that in...
A year?
50 episodes.
Yeah. Before we get into it, you guys, if you would please hit that like and subscribe buttons, as well as the bell notification, would help the channel grow immensely.
Yeah. How you been?
Crazy busy, man.
I know.
Not so much in like music stuff or industry stuff, but work. Work
I know,
stuff.
like actual work.
like real work. Stuff that pays the bills, man.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm in the same boat. And before we sat down to record this podcast, I was like, what was the last thing I did music related? That was a while ago, and I still can't remember exactly what I did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It would have been a show at the Rock Trout, I would guess.
Probably.
Yeah.
That was a month ago?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how's business at Funky Moose Records lately?
So Funky Moose Records is a little bit in a transition state. We're obviously an online record store, but we're moving more towards indie music. So right now we're selling used records and new records, but we're going to be selling merch and records from indie artists. This is in partnership with Muse Canada. So Jesse, shout out to you. Jesse and I are going to be working together. We don't want to call it a distribution deal on a record label, but that's kind of how it's going to be. Where, so obviously if you're a band and you're on the road, you don't have time to ship out fan mail. So the idea came when Jessie sat down with one of her artists, and they're like, we have this merch, a bunch of merch, and we have these CDs, but every time we're on the road, that's when we get the orders, which makes sense, right? So they bring some to the shows and they sell at the shows, but there are also people placing orders on their website or through Bandcamp. And then they're like, well, we're on the road, so we can't really ship anything out until we're back, which is a month from now.
Right.
So Jesse's like, well, we can probably take care of that for you because Mark has the distribution. All he needs is your inventory, and as soon as an order comes in, he can ship it, even if you're on the road. So that's kind of the direction. We haven't dotted the I's and crossed the T's and whatever, but that's kind of the direction where we're going. So if you're an indie artist that needs distribution of music and merch, reach out to Jesse. We'll get you a contract because, of course, it's going to be a two-way street. We're not going to do this for free, but we also don't want to rip you off. So we want to make this mutually beneficial. So there will be contracts in place, and we'll go from there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to ask. I really did. So does that, is Funky Moose Records going to also operate as per usual, like the way it was? This is just another factor that's being added to it? Or is it getting like a revamp?
It'll be a revamp.
A facelift?
No, the site itself will stay the same because don't break something that doesn't that
Right.
works, right? So the website itself will stay the same. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that with current inventory because I do need to get rid of current inventory. So maybe we'll do a giant flash sale where everything is $1 or something. don't hold me to that. But it could be.
I'll just cut that and freaking put that on
Everything's
a loop.
$1.
$1 sale at Funky Moose Records.
Yeah, but so the used records, we have bins and bins full that we need to move. And then as for new records, this is also part of why we're moving kind of away from the traditional record store type thing. Is competition has gotten so fierce after COVID. So to go back to 2019, 2020, those were good years for Funky Moose Records, and especially during the pandemic, every brick and mortar record store shut down, and Funky Moose was one of the only. There were a handful of online record stores that could still operate, and so that's when we did very well. But of course, those brick and mortar store owners, they don't sit still. So, and there was a thing from the government. There was funding a grant called the CDAP grant, where they would finance or help finance the transition from brick and mortar to online. So a lot of record stores took that grant and had fantastic online stores built. So we went from a handful of online record stores to several handsful of online record stores, and we're all selling the same thing when it comes to new records. So now we're competing with Amazon, we're competing with dozens of other online record stores. The shipping rates are going up and up and up. They're never going down. So it's just becoming a challenge to keep that going. So it's been kind of a conscious decision to step away from that. That doesn't mean we can't order those records that you want, but we just have to package it a little different. So eventually, it's not going to be overnight, but eventually Funky Moose Records will be solely selling indie music and merch.
I kind of think that if you're eliminating like the bigger named artists, like an example would be if you looked at your top 3 artists that sell. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you would know what they are off the top of your head.
Yep. Taylor Swift, Pink Floyd, Fleetwood Mac.
Right. So if those are your top sellers,
yep,
and you're eliminating that off of the roster, couldn't that be damaging to like the progression of the store?
Well,
like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of
like, oh, this is your best seller. Let's take it off the shelf.
Right.
Like you're taking your best sellers off the shelf.
Right. But do I keep that best seller and sell it at no profit, or just eliminate it and also make no profit? It's less work.
Right.
I would much rather put the focus on indie artists, support them because they need it. Pink Floyd and Taylor Swift don't need.
They don't need Funky Moose Records selling one record every month.
No, well, it's probably more than that.
Yeah,
but still, in order to stay in business, you need to make money. And right now, with the amount of advertising we need to do to stay ahead of the competition, or at least on par with competition, so let's say we sell a record for $20. There's a $5 margin on there, which is a hypothetical number. That's not the actual number. But let's say $5. It costs me $5 to get a client in the door or a customer in the door to make that purchase.
Right.
So, and then then I still need to ship the product. Ship the product and all the packaging material and stuff. So there's not a lot left on the table. And I recognize that early in the business. So like I started in 2015. So by 2016, 17, I figured out on new records, you need to sell a lot of records in order to make an actual
profit on it.
Yeah. So, and we're not at that stage anymore. I think I'm not saying the vinyl bubble has burst, and that's not at all the case because people are still buying records. but the real money is in, the used records. The problem with Saskatchewan is, and I'm sure we have a little bit of a hand in that, is that, we buy all these local collections from people in Saskatoon and Regina and Prince Albert, and we get them on the site. Usually people from Ontario, Quebec, BC are buying them. So all of those records go out of Saskatchewan. And of course, we're not the only seller in Saskatchewan. I talked to another seller in Saskatoon, and he said the same thing. Saskatchewan is drying out when it comes to used records. There are simply, collections are still out there, but it's either the seller knows exactly what he has and doesn't want to sell it for, what we used to pay $1 a piece for example. Now they know what they want retail pricing. So it's either buy a collection and make no money on there because the seller asks a lot.
Because you paid, that's right.
Or we come across a collection with all polka, which, if people are listening to that, you do you. It's not my cup of tea, but, it simply doesn't sell on we don't have the audience for it. So that's kind of the boat that the whole of Saskatchewan seller is in. The seller that I was talking to, he's even buying on eBay from the UK to get some good stuff in there, because in Saskatchewan the good records are drying up.
It's so interesting how much of a difference just society in general has changed in the last 5 years.
Yep.
It's just, it isn't.
Yep.
It just isn't what it used to be.
No. So
it
when I started in 2015, the what they call the vinyl resurgence started around 2013, 14. So I kind of got in early. So I've seen it grow from 2015 all the way to 2020, and 2020 was the year that we made the most revenue. But after that, like I said, everybody recognized that, there's some money to be made here. So there was more competition, more sellers online, even if they don't have an online store. Discogs is a marketplace. Facebook Marketplace was just filled with records for sale. But now, even if you go on Facebook Marketplace, it's all old-time, beat-up country records that we simply can't sell. That's not true. It's not that we can't sell them, but we can't sell them for enough money to
be sustainable.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. So what kind of timeline do you reckon it'll take before you have this type of quote-unquote transition?
So when Jesse and I were talking, Jesse and Muse are also in a transition. It's funny, the conversations her and I have, we're on the exact same path. Because Muse Canada, before COVID, wrote a lot of stuff about the music industry. But then COVID happened, and that went out the window. And then, Jessie needs to make money, so she started doing pretty much the same as what I do, websites for corporate businesses. And so that's the trajectory she's on too right now. So my side business, that's not a side business anymore, is Funky Moose Digital. And we do digital marketing for roofing contractors and renovation contractors. That's what pays the bills. The music industry is great, and I love every minute of it, but artists are broke, and venues don't want to pay, and record labels are not what they used to be. So there's a lot less money involved there. So Jesse is also, we're together. We're trying to figure out, okay, how can we help the music industry while still making money? Like, we don't have to get rich off it. If we make a little bit of money, great. But we both know that the music business is not where we're going to make the money.
Right.
So in both our cases, we do our corporate gigs. that's where we make the money. And then to give back to that community that we've been a part of for so long, that's where we came up with the distribution. It's more helping indie artists rather than us making money on it.
Interesting. How's that for a freaking update? Hey, you guys. Oh my Lord. I think you said more in the last 5 minutes than you have in the last 200 episodes of the podcast, dude.
You shut up for a while, so that was
good.
Well,
I mean, it's kind of a serious matter, I guess. Interesting. Well, let's sidestep from that. What else you got cooking?
That's it.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Did you happen to watch Paranormal Prairies?
Oh, you want to switch to you now?
Yeah, let's talk about me now.
Yeah, I did.
Well, how'd you like it?
Actually, I do have a part in that too. I created the landing page for it.
That's right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's when you and Andrew brought the idea at first, I was like, interesting. We'll see where that goes. But then when you guys started, thinking about it seriously and it actually happened and you started recording, it was like, oh shit, this is gonna be cool.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. And then watching the trailer, it's like, oh shit, this is really good. So
right on.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you, man. It was a crap ton of fun.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
What was the
you want some BTS info?
Yeah, most interesting part about the whole experience.
I think, well, for me personally, going out there, being able to get out there on the property for 3 nights again, like I did.
By yourself, scared shitless.
Dude. So here's a little fun. For those of you who have watched it, thank you so much. And if you haven't, please just Google paranormalprairies.com and you'll find it.
We should give them a little bit of insight on what it is, because
well, it was Prairies. So the town that I grew up in, St. Louis, Saskatchewan, there was always this tale of a ghost light, right? There was where the old train tracks used to go. Some type of tragedy happened, and now well, not now, but when I was in school growing up, it was like the party place, right? So we would go out there and just party. There would be drinking and fires, and you'd hang out there, and you would see this phantom light come towards you and appear and whatever. It was good times all around. But we never, people have tried to debunk it, saying it's car lights off of the highway, or it's fireflies, or you name it. Somebody has an explanation for it, but in my personal opinion, those people who are quote unquote debunking it have never saw it. So they don't know what they're talking about. I've seen that thing over 100 times, man. I swear on my life, there was one of my most memorable times. It showed up like we could have touched it. Just out of nowhere. No noise, no nothing. A friggin' 6-foot ball of light right in front of us. And we were all just like, what the hell is this, right?
That's when you stepped into the light.
Yeah, no. That was a different time. But it's like, it's just impossible for that to be a car headlight from 4 miles away when it's 5 feet in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are just crazy, and you like, believe it or don't believe it. I could care less what you think it is.
Yep.
I have my own opinions of it. But yeah, so that was like the tale of it, right? So this has been going on for over 100 years, man. This has been going on before there was even vehicles in that area. So there can't be headlights. But yeah. So, just always telling the stories, and then those boys hit me up and they're like, hey, well, we have this idea for this kind of like unsolved mysteries type, modern day unsolved mysteries type thing. This could be a good pilot episode to see if we can get some traction. So, of course, I'm a yes man. So it's like, let's go, buddy. I'll show you where it is. So that's kind of how that all got started. But even to this day, like, what are we? We're Friday. What's the date? November 7th?
8th.
Right? So the episode's been out. We released it on Halloween. We're still getting a shit ton of emails coming in. We're getting all kinds of St. Louis Phantom Light stories and then other ghost stories around Saskatchewan. So, and that's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, because this is episode 1 that was
It's a
released.
pilot episode. Yeah. So it's like if there's enough interest and traction on here, we'll gladly do more. But it was just like, we're not going to waste our time and film 10 episodes if nobody gives a crap about it.
Yep.
You know, so it was just kind of like one of those, let's throw some shit at the wall and see what sticks kind of thing. And I think it's stuck. So there's something there for sure. So it's super exciting. One thing we're planning right now, which I think is going to happen relatively quick, I would presume within a few weeks here, maybe a month, is because of all the emails and questions and everything coming in, we're like, F it, let's go live. And let's read these emails out and let's address the public, and you guys can like chat with us as we're live on YouTube and doing this, and I'll be there with Prehistoric, and we're just going to try a live event thing. And just be engaging with the people who are interested in it.
So would you do that for every episode? If, let's say, there are 10 episodes, would you go live on every...
I think it would depend on how this one goes.
Right.
We're going to definitely attempt it. I mean, if we go live and there's only like 2 people on there and nobody's engaging and nobody watches it or responds to it.
One is your uncle and your brother?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of doubt we're going to do it, but it's all like...
Well, you won't know unless you try.
That's it. So we're going to do it. It's going to be fun no matter what. We'll be live. I'm sure it'll be posted after the fact, but we'll do a bit of marketing in regards to that. So those of you who are paying attention, you'll definitely know about it. So please just share the word on that. So that's going to be fun. We're going to do that. Dude, I got...
It's funny how you mention people that are paying attention.
Well, it's because I know damn well... There's only one person in like, I'll say 60-mile radius that's watching this show. There's only one that I can name.
Yeah. Okay. But
otherwise, everybody else who's watching are probably not even in Saskatchewan.
No, so. But I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because it was your birthday recently, and you hate it when people
that's another thing.
Comments "Happy Birthday, Joel" on Facebook, which I totally agree, because that's probably one of the least personal, aside from wishing you a happy birthday.
So yeah, I had posted something a couple days before my birthday on Instagram stories saying, if you're reading this, you know how much I hate Facebook or something. So if anybody who wishes me a happy birthday on Facebook will be getting a thank you and the link to Paranormal Prairies. Dude, I sent 167 of those.
Oh, really?
Oh, just copy, paste. I didn't give a shit who it was.
I noticed one person who actually said, "Happy birthday, Joel. Here's the link too."
Roland Corrigal. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. So Roland, I guess I take my statement back about the 60-mile radius there, because you might be watching right now too. So yeah, I think I responded something about, hey, somebody's paying attention.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude. But I did get so thank you to all those Facebook people that I never see or talk to at all, except for once a year when you wish me a happy birthday on Facebook. Thank you for that. No, my friends and colleagues, the ones who know me, hit me up, either texted my number or called my phone to wish me, and those are the ones where I'm just like, thank you, man.
Yeah, for me too. Like, I don't wish people happy birthday on Facebook because, like I said, it's the most impersonal thing to do aside from not wishing you happy birthday.
I don't know, man.
But
I just don't like Facebook.
I'm also at an age where I'm like, I don't give two shits if you wish me happy birthday.
Another day. So yeah, I had a really good 27-year-old birthday.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
You've been 27 for how long?
Oh, I think I've been 27 for a solid 10 years.
27
Easy.
years?
Yeah, 27 years maybe. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, but man, I got so many things on the go I'm super excited to talk about. And I don't know if I can talk.
Should we talk about an upcoming episode that we're going to do, maybe, about that one that we talked about last weekend?
I honestly have no flipping clue what you're talking about.
With Derek?
Oh, That's another thing. So here's just, I don't know, for the ones paying attention.
Actually, maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
Well, we can, because I don't think anyone is listening anyway.
That's true.
So I don't care, man. There's a lot of things that'll be coming up. One of them being, it was Mark's wife's birthday, so we were over there having supper, and one of our mutual friends is the drummer for Trader's Gate, who actually performed phenomenally at a MooseFest 2022 or 3? A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They took the MooseFest stage there, and we're buddies. And that band kind of has been evolving, change of members and stuff like that. But they still jam every week. And just as a goof, I was like, they're looking for a singer. And as a goof, I'm like, I'll go there and mess around a little bit and do some karaoke or whatever, right?
And Derek with a dead serious face. Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah. So there was a group chat that has started, and this is going to happen. So they sent me like a list of, 30 different songs there. And
so not only that, we thought it was a good idea to have them perform here.
That's right. We wanted
with Joel as a singer.
That's right. So there's, I'm so sorry, you guys, but we don't have a date in mind. There is no deadline for this, but I haven't even went in and practiced with them yet. But basically, we're going to dial in 3 songs that we think are like fun and reasonable for you guys to listen to. And then we're going to have Trader's Gate come back on, if that's even what they're still called. Might be a different name.
I don't know.
I would presume it's a different name. But we are going to invite those boys on the podcast. And just for shits and giggles, you're going to have yours truly embarrass the shit out of himself.
So if there's an audio engineer out there that is listening, that could assist me in helping make Joel sound good.
Dude, Aspen, buddy, where you at, man?
Yeah.
Bring your gear to Bellevue one day.
Or Simon.
Yeah, Simon or Matt. Dude, we're calling you guys out. We might need some help on an upcoming episode where we're going to have full gear, full equipment here. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun nonetheless. But I'm already so scared. I sent them a couple songs, and as I sent them, I immediately regretted it.
This is a bad idea.
This isn't gonna go well. Do you want to know what songs I sent them?
Oh yes.
Oh my God, I sent them "Low Life" from Theory of a Dead Man.
Okay, yeah.
"Sabracadabra." It's a Black Sabbath song.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm more familiar with it from the Metallica version.
Okay.
Fucking dude, I don't know what I was smoking that night.
Oh man, you're just
you
started a hole and you just keep digging.
I'm so deep in it. And "Plush" from Stone Temple Pilots. So we're gonna try that and see how that. There's no way. So we're gonna need some help there. But so that's happening. Going to be doing that Wednesday nights, jamming with those boys and get to know them. So that's fun and exciting. I do have I got 2 other tales I would love to tell you and the audience of things that'll be up and coming in the next little while. Do you recall, I don't even know if you know this, when we had the boys from Ill Rap Music on the podcast. Mm-hmm. I know the audience doesn't know this because a lot of this happened off camera.
Oh, yeah. I know where this is going.
Do you?
Yep.
So off camera of that particular episode, I don't remember what number it was, 157 or something like that. Don't quote me on that.
Somewhere like that.
I was showing. So these guys,
so 200 or something.
They truly impressed me with their freestyling capabilities and just how humble and down to earth they were. I thought they were great guys. So I ended up showing them a song that I've obtained from a producer out of Toronto. He gave it to us a couple of years ago. He's like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. You can do whatever with it. And Mark and I had used it in the podcast when we would do ads or something. You'd hear it faintly in the background, that kind of thing.
We use it at Open Stage.
We did use it at Open Stage. Yeah. So, I mean, some people have heard it. Anyways, I showed it to these boys and explained to them who Hendog was, the producer, And
so it's just a backing track almost.
Basically, yeah. It's just like a beat that he produced, right? And so I showed it to them, and I'm like, would you guys be willing to drop some bars on here, freestyle on it? And they graciously accepted, and holy shit, dude, it is so damn good. So the four of us, we've been, chatting through email and stuff, and my friend at Skull Creek Studios actually did the mix and master of the final version of it. So we've got the song. It's done. It's completed. It's not licensed yet. But I'm like, man, this is so good. We can't just throw this on Spotify. Like, it needs to be more than just this. So I hired a digital, a digital video production company.
Video editor.
Video software company thing. I don't even know. My
Very
apologies.
specific, yeah.
But I found them on Instagram. They're called 27 Collective. So if you want to look at that Instagram profile, that'd be super sweet. They do a lot of AI generated content. And so I hit them up, was in conversations, showed him the song, and I'm like, can you do a music video for us with this? And he accepted as well. So he's working on that and sent me some rough drafts of the video. And it's just like, oh, this is so good, man. It's the whole concept. This is a huge spoiler alert. So forgive me, boys, but this is going to come like in months down the road here. The whole concept of the video is like the ill rap boys, they walk into the studio or their living room or whatnot, and they're basically going to fall asleep to the TV on. And then the camera pans into the TV, and the song that they're singing is like going on through the channels of the TV programming that they're clicking through. So I freaking love it. I think it's turning out so good. And I'm just super excited to release this song out there. I thought there is explicit content in it. It's not like a hip hop song you want to show your 10-year-old kid or anything like that. But there are some Funky Moose references in it and sit down podcast reference in it. So that's cool. But the whole concept, not of the video, but of the song, it's just kind of like how we started out from nothing and there's no support, no help out there, and look where we are today. Like, we made it, we did the climb, we grinded it out, and we made it here. So I freaking love the song. Super excited to show you guys that when that's completed, but so currently working on that.
So what do you call a remote? Do you call a remote?
Do I call a remote?
Yeah, not a clicker.
Sometimes a clicker, a control. Sometimes I call it the control because it's a remote control. Mm-hmm. Why? What do you call it, you Dutch
I call
bastard?
it remote.
A remote?
Because the remote is always remote. You sit on the couch and you shout like, fuck, I want to turn TV on. But the remote is on the same unit as where the TV is, usually, because we have kids.
How do you say remote in Dutch?
Oh, like the TV remote?
Sure.
Afstandsbediening.
Okay, how do you say remote, like a remote location?
Afstand. Well, afstand is distance. So it's afstand is distance and bediening is control. So distant control kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, those, keep an eye out for those coming out. What else do we got coming out? There's the live, there's the podcast with formerly known as Trader's Gate.
Yep.
The music video for Ill Rap is... Oh, another thing I want to do too is when we do release that video, I think what I want to do is we're going to invite the Ill Rap boys back on the podcast. I think I'm going to invite Hen Dog on virtually out of Toronto and 27 Collective. So I think if we can all get in the same room and just talk about the video and how it came to be, I think will be a fun episode to do.
I just remembered the last thing I did music-wise. Jordan's birthday.
Oh, Jordan Perry's. Wasn't it Cyber Funk or something?
Cyberfest. Yeah.
Cyberfest.
Yeah. At the green room next to the Coors Event Center.
Dude, he hit me up and wished me a happy birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Not on Facebook.
Oh,
Thank you, Jordan. Fucking love you, buddy.
Yeah, but that was so green room used to be 13 Pies? 13 Pies. Used to be a pizza place. They emptied it out, and there's a stage in the front. It's a small stage, so you can't put a 12-piece band on there. But it's they have a resident DJ, I believe, and they do a lot of like electro and punk kind of stuff. So there's another venue in Saskatoon to check out.
And how big is the venue, did you say?
I think Jordan said 120.
Okay.
So it's smaller
So
venue.
it's kind of like Rock Trout for capacity wise.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. So yeah, that was interesting. So why I remembered is in my head I was going through, okay, which guests do we have lined up? So we have two guests that are coming. We just don't have a date for them yet. One is Theo Noble, who was the headliner for Jordan's show. So
okay.
It wasn't Jordan's show; it was Theo's show, but Jordan was playing there too. So I was chatting with Theo, and he's interested in coming. He just needs to figure out dates and whatever. And then another guest. We've been talking about this for a long time. So you remember Jake Vodland?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's coming back with his dad.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Gord used to be known as Gord Vodland. Now he's Jake's dad. Pitched the idea of coming on together, and because Jake is going places, he's getting successful, and he's doing all the big things, and we thought it was a good idea for Gord to give the dad's perspective of things, and also as his business manager, so kind of the business side of things, to give an insight on there, because of course Jake is very much into the music itself and the performance and that kind of stuff. But
I'm going to tell you right now, Gord, if you're listening, I am not cutting anything out of that podcast. Everything is going to be left in. So yeah. So that's going to be. I think that's going to be that'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
I've been talking to some members of the Radiant as well too. I'm trying to get them to come out to Bellevue.
Yep.
It's looking promising. They're just. There's so many members in the band and they all have their own jobs and stuff like that. So to try and line them up to come here on a Thursday night is the equivalent of trying them...
Herd cats.
Yeah, or trying for them to book a show. It's like, hey, are we available to do this thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and then I've also been chatting with Ava or Vicky Miner. She's interested, but she's all over the place. Last time I was chatting with her, she was in Vancouver. So,
yeah.
And then who else? Zoe, Z the Free. We started this conversation and we haven't finished it. So when are you coming?
I saw her from afar at the awards show a few weeks back.
Yep.
And then I just, sent her a text saying, good job. Like, I thought you did great kind of thing.
And she replied, who this?
Yeah, it was kind of like she definitely replied, and it was like, oh, I know you've been talking to Mark about coming on the podcast. When's that happening? And then it was like end of conversation.
Yeah.
But all is well there. There's no
not yet anyway.
Nothing bad there as far as I know. I got nothing against her.
No.
I think she is great. So yeah, definitely some exciting episodes coming around the corner. What else? Oh, we've got MooseFest is going to be hosting the 4th annual tree lighting in our local community here. So that's
right
coming
there.
up. Yeah. Actually, just outside the door here. Yeah. So yeah, that started the same year MooseFest did. It was through the pandemic and everybody was down and out. So it was something that we did to just try and do the community building and get people together again. So basically planted a tree, decorated it, and just had people coming out with the kids, doing hot dogs and hot chocolate, and Santa came. Yeah, all that kind of stuff, tree lighting at 6.
We had some artists come over.
That's right. On the year 2, we had Ollie from Checkout Queens and Beck out of Saskatoon came out, and
Wasn't
they did
last year.
I feel like that was 2 years ago. Maybe that was last year. I honestly don't know. I know that was
last
the
year.
only year that we had any music, though, if I'm not mistaken. So we just announced it in the local paper here that it's happening December 6th. And as far as I know, it's just, the tree lighting, hot chocolate, and hot dogs for the kids, Santa. I think there's sleigh rides, horses will be out here.
Do we have an artist to come play guitar?
I honestly haven't asked anybody yet because...
So if you're an artist out there and you know how to noodle jingle bells on your guitar or whatever, feel free to come.
Actually, that reminded me of something that I cannot say. I can tell you off camera. But yes, what Mark said, yes. If you're interested in coming to hang out in good old Bellevue, Saskatchewan on December 6th.
Why did you make that harder than it had to be?
I might have to cut that out too. But yeah, definitely hit us up. We'd love to have you guys, like our friends out there that we've made since Mark and I started this little program. You know, it's funny. People kind of chuckled and laughed at us when we were like, oh, we started a podcast, and just reflecting on everything that all opportunities that this little podcast has given us and the ripple effect, like the tsunami.
Well, it's also funny because
that it's generated is just...
I had a meeting with someone this morning, and I was mentioning that this afternoon we're recording, I believe it's episode 249.
I don't even, I stopped counting.
249. And, you know, back when we started it, when we said, oh, we started a podcast, everybody's like, oh yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh shit, episode 249. Jeez, that's been a long time, you know.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Like fucking, dude, man, I've gotten to meet some people that I've idolized growing up, all because of this. That's huge, man. Even just that is fucking worth it for me, man.
Not only that, but there is an artist in Nashville now because we started a podcast.
Absolutely correct.
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh, I was on the phone with him last night.
Oh, yeah?
And he was showing me some of the stuff that he's working on, and just... You know, I don't listen to country music, right?
Yeah.
Except for Josh. Like, holy shit, man. Like, you think Drink Me a Lullaby was good? Oh, snap, dude. They're just so fire.
It was funny.
Fucking love you, Josh.
I was in a business group meeting on Tuesday, and one of the visitors came up to me. He was like, hey, you work with Josh, don't you? I'm like, holy shit. You know me for Josh now?
Yeah, right. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So much fun. And I forgot where my train of thought was going with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just super grateful, man. Like I know the ones who watch regularly, like you do notice that sometimes there's like rewind episodes that go up there. And realistically, it's like, it's not easy to have a guest on a weekly basis, particularly musicians when, you know, you want to get we film here generally on Thursday evenings, and to get, like, everybody works, man. So to get people out here in Bellevue, Saskatchewan to play 3 songs and hang out with us for an hour, like, it's not, as even though we try and make it as accommodating as possible, I can't think of the word. Like, it's not easy to do. And I think the fact that we've been able to do it for as long as we have, I think, like, anybody thinks it's easy, you do it then. Try it out. Start a podcast.
It's also when we do those rewind episodes, sometimes it's because we try to be ahead.
That's where I was going with it.
We try to be ahead by a week, so that, you know, when an artist gets sick, which happened 2 weeks ago, that we have an episode in the bank.
Yeah.
But in this case, we didn't have a backup guest, and our current guest got sick. Yeah. So it was kind of a last minute, what do we do? And Joel and I just ran out of time, although we had some time, I guess, but
Yeah, it was
to
too.
plan, but
It
we
was just
just
too crammed.
Yeah, we just ran out of
Like
time.
even
altogether.
this one, like we're Friday right now doing this, so the whole rest of the weekend is editing this episode so it can come out on Monday. Like there's our
Yeah.
So it's not just as simple as like hitting record and away you go. It is relatively simple though. All you need is a camera.
Or
we
two.
use a camera or two and some way to record audio.
Yep.
There's your podcast. You need to know how to edit that together if you want like something reasonable. I'm not saying ours is like top tier, first class, but
Well, I was asked not that long ago if you and I could do like a presentation on how podcasting works.
was it the school?
No.
Okay, because the school's been hitting me up a little bit
Okay.
too. They
But
want to
it-
know if we're
but-
interested in talking about like
Podcasting.
video engineering.
So, but
or
my reply
music.
was like, I don't know if we can fill even 10 well, you and I can fill 10 minutes, but I mean, the setup is really simple, especially now. We have one phone, that's Joel's phone, that's recording the video. Our microphones are connected to a mixer that's plugged into a computer, and we hit record on that. And then in software, we mash it together, and then we have an episode.
Yeah.
That sounds really simple, but we also have 4 years of experience now.
Yeah. But it's the whole thing of like, if you want to do it, just go and do it, man.
Yeah, start
Don't-
something.
Yeah. Don't go to people with your hand out asking for sponsorship right out of the gate. Because I think you're going to be wasting your time. It's
Yes,
best
even-
just start it, do it, figure it out. As
Even
you go.
us, 4
We
years
have
in,
no
we're-
sponsors.
We still
Yeah.
don't have sponsors. Except
Well, they're not. They're
No,
not.
they're not
They're
a-
not a sponsor. They're
no,
just.
but they have supported us in the past.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
They have sponsored, and there is a promo code out there that is still currently available up until the end of December. So if you guys do vape, use promo code Funky15 at Inspired Vapor Company. Whether you're shopping online or in the store, you'll get 15% off any purchase.
Yeah.
There.
But to get back to how to start a podcast, grab your phone and
Hit record.
the simplest thing is use the audio from your phone, or if you can get like a Bluetooth lavalier microphone or something, use that. Start with that, and then from
The whole
there,
key is record your audio separately from the video and then sync them together after.
Yeah.
That's probably the best tip
Yep.
in regards to a podcast. I mean, it's super simple because you're just talking. That's all it is talking.
If you can talk like Joel, no
Yeah.
problem.
I could talk circles. It won't make any sense, but
Oh yeah, we can fill 2
I
hours.
should start talking with my hands like this. And
No,
what
you
is
shouldn't.
what does Trump call it? I almost said rope-a-dope.
No,
I forget.
We're not going to talk about this.
I forgot what he said. It was. But yeah, so I mean, good things are coming.
Yep.
We're not going anywhere. We're still right here. Just things are changing a little bit, evolving, continuously evolving. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And
Maybe
like,
in the future you'll see more of us. I don't know where we're.
I have no
a,
idea.
We don't have a clear path of we want to do this by the end of the year or whatever. We plan nothing.
And for the record, this isn't our job.
No.
This is a hobby. We're doing this because we love to do it. It's fun. That's all. We're doing it for us, and you guys watching is just an added bonus to all of it. So we appreciate you and thank you for that.
Yep.
You know how there was that one clip I put out there where we were talking about how artists don't want to do reels, and it's like the eyes are on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need-
about the numbers.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
need eyes to listen to music. You need
That's right. Yep.
I feel kind of similar with this program. Us doing this and getting it out there, even though they're not like astronomical numbers or anything, because we're in that clip or that one episode, we were making it at a point of how industry people are looking at the wrong thing. They're looking at how many likes you've got, how many followers, all of that stuff. Mine aren't crazy high. But my point is that the opportunities that this little rinky-dink podcast has given us over the past 5 years, you guys,
Yep.
fucking makes it worth it.
Yep.
So everybody
100%.
in the industry who's concerned about likes and numbers and followers, go fuck yourself, man. Because I'm living a dream, dude. We're making movies. We're making videos. We're making music. We're making friends and acquaintances. We're supporting our local community. We're having a music festival. Like, all of this is because of this program. And this episode will probably have like 10 views on it.
25.
But
I'm going for 25.
25?
Yeah,
and
25.
That's okay because those 25 people that see it are the ones that matter. And it's because of those 25 people that we can do other things. And doing a podcast on stage before Dead Levy and Braden King. Like, would you ever thought that we'd be part of an event that's not ours?
Well, that's,
like shit like that, dude. It's
so
much fun
and
being
exciting. Invited to be MCs for shows in PA.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so, and I'll repeat this till the cows come home. It doesn't matter how many. Like, I would rather have 100 followers that actually care and buy something. Even the buying stuff, I don't. The 100 that care, versus 10 million people, 10 million followers that have absolutely no clue who I am.
Yeah, agreed. I do agree, because it's not about those people.
No,
it's you just need those 25 people
that are watching right now.
So thank you guys. Thanks for hanging with us this week. I think we have a musical guest next week. I'm not too sure.
We'll see.
My apologies for no music this episode, but that's I guess an update to going into the closing of 2024 here.
So leave your comments with the stuff that you want us to talk about. I mean, we have
actually that's good. If you're paying attention,
which by now,
give us some suggestions. Like, Mark and I see each other. We talk every single day. So when we come into something like this without a guest, it's like, what the flip what do we want to talk about?
But I mean, we've been talking for about 50 minutes now. Without a script, we walked in with no topics, and here we are.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, we love you guys. We respect the shit out of all of you. And
thank you for watching.
Thank you. Definitely. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
Peace.
Oh, I was going to talk about Halloween, too.
That's in the past.